What's up, everybody? Today we're doing something a little different. I'm going to do a talking head style video. We're doing a reaction to a video that one of my mods sent me. It's this video right here. Huge news for Season 8 and Sword in the Finals from It's Kona. And I did contact him and asked if I could use the video ahead of time, and I got the go-ahead for it, so we're all good to do that. So without further ado, we're going to hop in. We're going to watch through his video and kind of give you my takes on some of his opinions. Some of them in there are really good that I haven't heard as much since I've not really been very present with the finals recently. So without further ado, let's get into it.
You have no idea just how excited I've been to record this video. A couple days ago, Oscar hosted a Q&A with Matt and Rob from Embark, the finals game developers. There was a crap ton of new information about future seasons and new updates regarding the finals in this Q&A.
Which I will say we do have to be a little bit tentative of, because the last time that they gave us a bunch of information, be like, hey guys, you should be excited as a Melee player for Season 7. Nothing happened. And this season has been just as bad as the end of last season. So I'm hopeful, but also, you know, grain of salt.
One thing I was most excited for was Sword is... Just wait for it, It's getting a buff.
Also, I do gotta say, this guy's editing is fantastic. He only has like less than 150
and it gets
subscribers.
Even better.
So go
because Sword and all of the other melee weapons are planned to be completely reworked. This... Oh my god. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, and so like this is one of the things that I've talked about a bunch. For those of you guys who know me and have been around for my content in the past, most of the melee weapons changing the numbers has been tried, and it doesn't do anything besides either make them unplayable or very, very overpowered. And Riot Shield's a good example of that right now. They tweaked a couple numbers, and now everybody's running Riot Shield, right? Same thing happened with Sword, same thing happened with Hammer. And so generally speaking, pretty much all of the melee just needs a rework. Even a lot of the guns could use a full rework. So I'm happy to see that they're actually going to do a full approach like that. I'm curious to see what happens.
Now, as we all know, I was already balls to the walls, shaking in my pants, excited for a buff
Also, it's wild
Sword.
that this guy
But unfortunately for my balls,
Charlie
it gets
coming to the
even better.
game.
There's also some great news for you guys who don't use melee and
so he predicted
use
that, which
a
is
normal
nutty.
gun in a first-person shooter. We also got information about Vikings possibly being added and dragons.
Okay, and so this is the part Rob before had made mentions of there will be dragons and that there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming for melee players in the near future. And there's also been plenty of hints. You guys might have heard me even talk about the fact that I was told hints about a medieval season, and I personally predicted that this last season, Season 7, was going to potentially be that medieval season, so it was prepped and ready before the majors came out. But it kind of makes sense that they're waiting until after the majors, after the qualifiers, to add anything new to the melee roster, because then that way they're like, oh yeah, well, you already qualified, so none of this new melee stuff goes to the majors. Which also at a certain point, like, why you gotta hate melee like that? I don't know. Let us into the majors. Come on, Emberg.
Which would also be crazy. I've been wanting a medieval season for so long, and it could possibly be coming to us. So what does this mean for next season? I think that there is a huge possibility that next season could be the season for melee players. This season we saw the extermination of pretty much any viable melee weapon. Rip Sledgehammer. And it makes sense because, as we all know, Embark is getting the finals esports going, with the qualifiers beginning this season. And it's all hypothetical, but I think they want to filter out any melee mains before the reworks come out in case...
This is what I was saying. For those of you guys who've been around, again, I was telling you guys the same thing, that they were slowly trying to just kill melee, so most of the melee community left before the majors, and then they were going to give it some love after the majors. So if this is what happens... I told you so.
They go a little sideways. There's also a small pattern. If we look at our current season and our
this point
previous
right here,
season's
other people have made this point,
the
but
last
this is a really
CNS
good point
themed
as well.
season we had was Season 2, which was followed by Feudal Japan immediately after, in Season 3. Now, we don't have a perfect explanation for why the game show became Feudal Japan, lore-wise. We do know that it was
to do with like
some
CNS
reason
glitching
CNS
out and
messed
messing
up
something
and
up.
it shifted the game code to Japan. It would logically...
I think if I remember correctly, we were supposed to have like a futuristic Japan, and then something messed up in the coding, which made it old-fashioned, which then was the reason why the melee and all the other, weird stuff happened Season 3 with CNS and whatnot. So I could see this canonically, functioning that way, where there's a break in the code from CNS being involved again, and then we get an old-fashioned medieval season. But Who knows? Maybe not.
It makes sense for any other ancient-themed season to follow after a CNS-themed season. And I wonder what theme we have for this season. And this is why I think we are due for that medieval season, Season 8. Looking at what was announced, dragons, melee rework, Vikings, it makes sense for all of this to come into one
if it is
season,
medieval, I'd be
and
hyped.
it makes extra sense for all of those changes to happen after qualifiers. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're finally getting that medieval theme next season? Or are we doomed to more anime skins? Make sure to leave a comment to let me know. If I get more subscribers, I'm planning on hosting a paid esports tournament on my own, so I would really appreciate it if you left a like. But anyway, I'll see you in the finals.
All right. So I got some thoughts. And generally, like, again, this is something that, like, I already talked about a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff had already been hinted at. It'd be great if the next season is the new Melee season, but as Kona kind of mentions, it's a little bit weird to me that they, like, are trying to drive the current player base out of the game that actually understands Melee before they do these reworks. Because, like, what they did with the Riot Shield, did they fix any of the problems? No, they just buffed it. So new people started playing it. We're kicking ass and having a good time with it, not noticing all the issues. Meanwhile, all of us Riot Shield players that were really dedicated, a lot of us kind of stopped playing the game because of the way that the state of Melee was at the time. And so it's interesting that they might finally be giving us a Melee season when a bunch of the Melee players have left the game because they absolutely butchered Melee for the last year and a half straight. And so I would love to see things turn around. I missed the shit out of this game. It was one of my favorite games. I still love it. I still miss it. I just haven't been able to really play it. And I recently did come back and I did my ranked placements and I was having fun, but there's still a list of glaring issues with the state of Melee right now. And that's something that needs to be worked on. I understand them not wanting to have Melee be something that gets highlighted during the majors until after maybe the rework. So maybe next year Melee gets to be part of the majors and that'd be awesome. So until then, I'm going to be back on the finals more. Just a little personal note, I am in the middle of moving back to Oregon. Unfortunately, it was kind of an unplanned thing all of a sudden. So I'm going to have a little spell of time where I'm not online quite as much. I should have a bunch of videos prepped on YouTube, but Twitch-wise, I will be offline for a period of time. But once I get back in Oregon, which is before Season 8 starts, I might be back on the finals more. I do miss it. I'd love to come back. I miss beating the crap out of people with a Riot Shield. And especially if they do a bunch of reworks, maybe it'll be good. And if it's good, maybe I'll stick around and make a bunch more guide content for the game. I like making guide content, and I like teaching people how to play Melee in the finals. So if things get better, I'll be around. If things continue on the same path, I might, you know, check the game out once in a while here and there. But Melee still needs love. It's doing better than it was. The recent updates have been helping. I'm glad to see that Embark actually gives a shit again. But, like, yo, they need to do something besides just tweaking numbers. A full rework is needed for pretty much every Melee weapon, and I'm really interested to see what it turns out. So without further ado, that's really kind of all I got to say on this. Thanks again to It's Kona. Make sure you guys go show him some support, show him some love. He absolutely deserves it. Again, you guys saw his video editing quality. It's great. So go show him some love, and I'll probably see you in the finals. So thanks. Appreciate you guys. Adios.